Okay, awesome. All right, well, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. This is Inspire, Innovate, Ignite, Conversations That Count, and we're so glad you're joining us. Today, we just have a great topic. I love this topic so much. We're going to be talking about business energetics, and we've got some great panelists that we've chosen to talk about this subject because, we'll be talking about the energetic connection between you and your business and how different energies affect your success, and how building a thriving business by upgrading and aligning your personal energy with the energy of your business is the key. So it's going to be great. I'm super excited. And all of our panelists are experts in this area. So sit back and relax and get ready to really just um, engage, ask, listen, gain the insights, write down the tips, and ask your questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and before I introduce everyone, I just want to share that there are lots more of these panel discussions going on our platform, and we encourage you to go check it out at the sacredyou.love community. You can sign up for just $1. We'll put the link underneath here. So if you're watching the replay, you'll be able to access it there. We just have a ton of featured events going on, lots of tribes, lots of classes, lots of everything goodness. So check it out. And now I just want to introduce you to some of our lovely panelists. And we'll start with Allison. Allison is a 6-2 generator with a sacral response authority. She's here to master her own skills in life by design, transform and transmute that energy so that she can teach what she's learned. And this is Allison's passion, where she loves leading by example, and she's a boots on the ground type of gal. Her power zone is grounded, but it comes with a vein of gold, intuitive wisdom that's respected, offering this guidance as your key to improve and enrich other people's lives through her work. And she loves supporting women and offering them the sacred space for deconditioning and expressing authenticity by designing a business for themselves that allows them to operate in their own power zone. Allison is the tribe host of Align by Design, all about human design. So you can check that out. And we have Grace Hart. Grace is a law of attraction life coach, and she helps people break through vibrational barriers that sabotage and frustrate their manifesting results, creating access to all that lights up their soul. And Grace is the host of Up Your Vibe Tribe. So you can check that out too. And we have Crystal Hill back with us. And Crystal is the founder of Hill House Publishing. She's a soul leadership coach and an international #1 best-selling author. She's passionate about gathering change makers and conscious creators who align with her mission to awaken and empower humanity into a deeper sovereignty and connection. She helps them step into their zone of flow, claim the essence of their leadership, and makes them into international best-selling authors so that their passion can really ignite just global change in the world and enhance their authority and their reach. And we have Jacqueline Rodriguez with us, a holistic salon owner, founder of the Clean Beauty Biz Method, certified master neuro coach, author, non-toxic cosmetic line owner and creator, energy healer, and podcast host. Jacqueline's mission is to break industry norms, to educate and empower beauty professionals to change the way we think of beauty. And she's committed to creating environments that normally are so toxic on so many levels into non-toxic and healthy environments. And then we have Supriya Prasad. She is the energy healer for businesses all over the world. She spent the last decade working in some of the biggest companies around the US and in the world, including Homebridge Financial Services and Rentaki, Trackle, I'm not sure, North America, somewhere where I live. And after getting tired of the corporate BS, she decided to start her own business. Originally, it was a social media marketing agency, and she later found that she was attracting holistic health, wellness, and spiritual coaches. So in 2020, she quit her job and went all in with her side hustle, and she renamed her business to The Spirit Digital and started coaching people in the spiritual world, which included yoga teachers, mindset coaches, and Ayurvedic shop owners. And I'm an intuitive mentor. I help women who've felt silenced and invisible to clear their trauma and find the courage to open their hearts and discover who they're here to be so that they can reclaim their voice and finally receive the abundance, love, and fulfillment that they deserve. All right, so we're going to jump into the questions now. And what I'd like to do is I would like to just go around the virtual room and hear from you about how you discovered business energetics and what it's done for you to find out how to be in the flow and in alignment with the energy. So, Allison, would you like to start?
Just as I was writing notes. How did I discover business energetics? Through human design, accidentally. It was understanding my human design chart was a super empowering and super resisting moment in my life where I was like, oh, I see. I now see myself. Yes, you're reflecting back to me all that I know. It's really heart opening. But also the other aspect of us is like, no, that's true. And so I resisted a lot of some of that stuff because it was like, no, I'm not a control freak, because a lot of my design is based by the gate name around control. So then obviously my conception of control meant that I was like this strict and nasty person. I'm thinking, that's not me. That's not me. I'm not that. And so I had this long-term fight with myself around it all. And then I just basically got the lesson slapped over my face, surrender. And it was through learning how to do that I really understood how business energetics lines up with how you operate energetically in your human experience self. And so when those two came together, sorry, the needle.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
No, I was just going to say that the pin dropped. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to share when I learned I was a projector, I was, full on in the do mode. And I'm like, that is not me. I don't own that. I'm not that. So I totally get what you're saying. And when you're able to operate in the way that your design is laid out, it just is so much, you just move into alignment so much quicker. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Manifesting becomes literally lightning speed.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Thank you. All right, let's go with Grace. Can you share?
Hi, everybody. I think I learned it all by doing everything the wrong way the first time. I started life coaching business a couple of years ago and did it all the wrong way. But prior to that, I was a mothercraft nurse. And so I definitely knew how. I used to come home from those jobs. So I would stay with families with their little babies for a couple of weeks at a time. And I was on call 24 hours a day for that. And I used to come home absolutely exhausted from those. So between that and then starting the business all the wrong way, with a lot of bumping into myself all the time, all my own crap that I was carrying, all my baggage. I knew all about law of attraction, but I just couldn't get it together because I was bumping into so many things about myself that were holding me back and stopping me and making the whole process really difficult. And of course, I was just attracting more of that. So I shelved it, and I actually had a year off, and I just went on a big soul journey and really came back to understanding that it all starts with me and what's going on and the things that I'm blocking my energy, my vibration with. And and just undoing all of those things, and then stepping out again to have a go at doing this in a more aligned and in flow way.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think, the old paradigm is this push energy, this hustle and push and go, go, go. And we're just not there anymore. And I don't know about you guys, but when I see that kind of marketing and I see that kind of energy online, it's like, no, why this doesn't, it's like, it doesn't resonate. It doesn't resonate with so many of us. And so we're all being asked to kind of slow down and then look inward and realign so that our energy can be in flow. So thanks for sharing that, Grace. I love that. Jacqueline, would you like to share?
Yeah, I would love to. So I too was in that hustle, work hard mentality, and just growing up, always wanting to do something different than everybody else, and really being indoctrinated into how you were supposed to go about life and business, and having this fire within myself that I wanted to do things different, and getting pegged as like something's wrong with me, that I don't want to follow the rules. And working for other people just really never set right with me. And it felt hard and it felt so unaligned. And I started my own business, but I still had that hustle mentality of just like work really hard and going in different directions. So when I finally sat down and really looked at what do I want and what was my heart saying for me to do, I was able to bring that together and create that alignment because I started listening to my intuition, to my heart, and to what I knew that I really wanted, even if everybody thought I was crazy. So aligning that without worrying about what everybody else in my industry and in all the other industries are doing in the world, So really bringing that together and still making sure that I tap back into my heart every day, every moment, because we are living a human experience and we revert back if we're not careful. So aligning my energy daily has really been super beneficial.
Yeah, it is all about the heart. I mean, and I love, yeah, it's, if we can live in our heart, if we can live from that place of love, life is good. We know we're on track, right? If we can live from that frequency of love and joy, anything else just can fall aside. Anything else that's not of that vibration then just will fall aside, right? I love that. Thank you so much. Crystal, you want to share?
Yes, thank you. So for me, business energetics is something that I was just trying to define. What does that actually mean to me? What does business energetics mean? And for me, I have this kind of vague understanding, but then I was trying to really point it down. And what are energetics? Energetics are the way in which the subtle energies that are not perceptible through the 3D tangible world. It's that extrasensory perception that we know. It's about the intuition. It's that inner knowing, that gut instinct, and energetics really are all around us, because that's how the universe is energy, and we are energy. And so everything is energy. And so why do we even talk about energetics in business when everything is energy? So it's a really interesting question that I kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit. I'm going to take you with me. So I think it's just a shift in perspective to think, the energetics, the unperceivable, the imperceptible is as important, if not more important, than the here and now, the supposed tangible, because everything is vibration, even though the chair and our computer, everything is vibration. So there's really therefore no separation between my energetics and my business's energetics. It's all one. And so if everything is one, then if I'm not exactly in alignment, so many of you have spoken about this, coming into this place of alignment, coming into this place of flow and listening to the intuition. And when we're not there, then our business is not there. And and therefore we can then not get the results. And I'm sure we'll talk more about how that then expresses itself. And we've all known that when we wake up in the morning and something isn't quite right and we stay in that space, that the day spirals out of control. And when we catch it and we can transform it and we bring awareness to it, that suddenly we are in control of, or we have, there's that word control, right? It's not about control, but it's about we have the ability to choose and to create that which we want to create in our world at that moment.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, thank you for defining it, because it is, and it's kind of undefinable. I mean, it's a different perception. It is. It's a different perspective of looking out of your business. I think for me, it's like people used to talk about success and results and this really like hard energy, masculine, energy, which was the industry for many, many years. And as we tune back into our hearts and tune back into ourselves and into our intuition and shift into alignment in our flow, in our rhythm, in the way that works for us and that makes us joyful, then we can move forward and be energetically aligned in our business. I think that's what
exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's right on. So thank you for that. Supriya, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I think Crystal kind of nailed it on the head. I deal with the chakras a lot in my business, and the chakras are very much all about who you are, how everything's aligned within you, and how you can balance all of those. And then in your business, it's pretty much the same. We are all, we're all one at the end of the day. We are all one. Everything is put within us and put within the universe as well. And what we put into our businesses and what we put into our work is very much within our bodies as well. And, and I talk about the sacral chakra is all about divine feminine, divine masculine energies together. And we were talking about the hustle culture mindset, which is very much a masculine type of energy, very much a divine masculine type of energy. And it's one I feel that many of us here know all too much about. However, like it's all about balancing. It's all about like bringing in that divine feminine, that rest, that self-care, that worth, and combining it together. And really, in order to create a balance that's just beautiful within the world. And I would like to say, like, I think that divine feminine energy is coming up a lot more.
Yeah, and you have to have both, right? I mean, we need to tune into our intuition and be in flow and receive the guidance, but we also have to act on it if we want anything to happen. I mean, we have to take action. That's the masculine part, is the action part of it. So we definitely have to have both. But I love how you work with the chakras, and and thank you for that point of view. I love it. What came up for me is we've been talking about alignment and flow. I would love to have you all talk about how to move into alignment, because I know that there's some people that are listening that might be thinking, okay, what's this all about? How do you do it? Like, how do you get into the energy of the flow? So I'd love to hear from you. Would anybody like to start that topic off? Okay, Jacqueline, yes.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I was talking about the heart before, and I am a heart entrepreneur. I lead every single decision, everything that I do with my heart. And the way that I get into alignment, because, right, I talked about the human experience, I go back and forth. I mean, I have my moments. And I know that I'm out of alignment when I'm listening to my body. And I actually feel my heart disconnected. So I feel physically my heart just, whether it's flutters or palpitations or just you get that heaviness, anything that's going on in my business. And this is a very easy, like logical way to think of it and be able to connect the two. And this was very powerful for me to see that when I was not in alignment, I had those feelings. And it may be different, body parts or whatever for you, but tuning into the emotion and to your physical body is so important. And as soon as I'm in alignment, my heart feels whole. My body feels like you feel it, like the blood pumping and just the almost like a tingling sensation for me. And it feels better. And I know that I can go with that decision or whatever is happening in the day is really how I logically get into alignment when I'm off.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's really important to tune into our bodies. And so much of the time, if we're in our head, we don't tune into our body, right? We're just all up in here thinking about what we have to fix or what we have to do. And really it is a whole approach of the mind, body, spirit. It is, you have to have all those components in order to be in alignment. You have to. And so I love the tip that you said about tuning into your heart and your where you feel it in your physical body. So that's perfect. Thank you. Allison, do you want to talk about this?
Always. The masculine and feminine balance is just, it's shifting, right? We are energetically and this is what I see in my abilities and my knowledge, is we are shifting to an emotional, heart-based way of living, right? That is the evolutionary process. That's the direction we are heading. So it makes sense that the feminine balance is starting to realign back to the scale, right? We are here for that purpose, each and every one of us. And when you are in embodiment of who you are, as Crystal said earlier, those bad days, the days where you're like, oh, no, not today, and then you can create that shift, because that's where our heart is leading us. And when we're leading in that living space, this is what we teach. This is what we want the collective and the expansion to be. So again, just when it's self-embodied and you self-express that through your business, I think that's what creates the shifts and the alignment and the connection to everything.
And talking about the alignment leading from your heart, letting your emotions flow through, and the authenticity and the self-expression, that's what people want. People want to feel, when you're not able to feel authentic, when you're not being authentic and you're not able to express yourself, you feel stuck. And that's when you kind of like, people do the spin, right? You don't go anywhere. Yeah. That's not flow. So I love that. Yeah.
Especially when, like, I'm a crier. So for me not to want, like, to resist myself crying because I'm on a camera, it's like, no, I'm just going to let the goddamn tears come out, because it's actually showing you that I'm processing this. I'm going through a real thing here. And by sharing it with you is actually helping me as well as helping you. I'm not doing it from a selfish place. Yeah. And when, as leaders, we are channeling information all the time because it's part of our job. So having conversations is part of that channeling process. People need to hear what they need to hear when they hear it. Mm-hmm. Might not land the right way that you're intending, but that's not a you problem, that's a them problem.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. Grace, did you want to talk about it as getting into alignment and how you do that, how that experience is for you?
I'm very much a feeling person. So for me, it is about dropping into inside myself. I've got I imagine that I'm sort of got a cave or something in there that I can just disappear into. And I definitely know when I'm not in alignment, because my whole body just crams up. It just, really closes down and contracts, and I can feel that the whole flow is just completely stopped. And yes, and often it's I'm not breathing or anything either. Everything is just really contracted. So yeah, it's just a matter of being so aware of those sensations, and coming back home, realizing, and pivoting from that, and coming back home, and reconnecting again, and then starting from there again, reset the whole thing. Yeah.
Whether you have to do that once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, or however many times a day, right? Absolutely. You just keep going back to reconnect until
I love that. And I think that, yes, it can happen so many times throughout the day, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes to just get in there too. Like that practice is worth it in the long run, because it does help to do it more quickly, much faster. It's probably the way to say that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, having a practice helps you move that connection into place immediately. You don't have to go and sit in your practice. Yeah. You can do your practice, and then exactly. I love that. Yeah. Thank you. Crystal, did you want to talk about alignment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so for me, alignment means basically the effect, or how I know that I'm in alignment, is when I feel good, when I have energy, when I'm happy. That's when I know I'm in alignment. And so many of you have already spoken about this contraction, or the heart not feeling disconnected, or you're not feeling good in the body. And one thing that I do every morning, I do have a practice. And one of the things that's part of the practice is really just tapping into gratitude, and giving gratitude for something that happens in my life and that I'm grateful for, even if it's just a really small thing, because it actually changes the neurochemistry in our brain when we are expressing gratitude every single day. And so starting the day with that until I feel it. And this is the distinction here. We can't just say it. We have to feel it, because when the thought is aligned to the feeling, is aligned to everything, kind of that is alignment. So then everything lines up, and then the expansion that comes from that, and for me, there's a warmth in the heart, a tingling that kind of just oozes out of me, and that really then prepares me for the day to be in a space where I'm in a space of service, because I'm grateful. Then I can take the focus of me and what I need. And I think this is also going back into the old way of doing business, which is the pushing way, where what's in it for me attitude, and us unprogramming and reprogramming that from saying, no, when we want our business to be in flow, we've got to come from a place of service. How can I help you? What do I have that I can provide for you? But we can't do that unless we're in a space of having our cup full. And my way of, or one of the ways in getting my cup full, is to step into gratitude for what I have. And then that sends a signal to the universe, because if I'm feeling happy and content with what I have, there is no further neediness. And so therefore there can come more of what I already have, can be attracted back to me. And that's business energetics in a nutshell, really, for me, because we are coming, when we are that which we want to attract more of, it happens. And then there is flow, and the clients come, and everything just flows. And how did you do that? I don't know. I was just grateful. It just had the magic. That's the magic of the business energetics.
It really is. It's being that you want to attract, and being that already, not being wanting that, not wanting, but being already there. Yeah. So important. And huge distinction.
And, even when there's just like, there have been times when money has not been there in the bank, and I wanted more and I needed more tomorrow. And then I just sit there, and it takes a little longer that day to step into the gratitude for what I have. But you can still do it, like, because if there's $1 in the bank, there's $1 more than you need in this moment. And if we come into everything, there's only the now. We talked about this before we went online, because Australia is already in the future, America is in the past. It's all the eternal now. And if we can really feel that and embody that, then it becomes easier to come from that place of gratitude and being in the state of what we're wanting to attract, and because we already have it.
Yeah, so good. I love that. Thank you. Supriya, would you like to talk about this?
Oh gosh. So alignment, that's like, I mean, that's what I like to call the crown, right? In your business, that's your crown chakra. And gosh, I mean, I think, Crystal, again, I think you nailed it on the head with all of this.
You need to go before me next time so you can nail it.
Exactly, right? But, and of course, everybody else too, like you nailed it, like, which you are what you attract at the end of the day. So being in flow to me is doing what truly lights you up. And being in alignment with a specific, whether it's a client, person, business partner, whatever, that it, to me, it literally means they hit every single box. You're hitting every single box within you that's truly lighting you up. And being in a flow state, to me, is just when everything is just coming super easy to you. For some, that means being on social media 7 days a week, posting. For another, that means posting once every 3 months. And that's just a true flow state for them. So to me, that's what's being in alignment. It's all about what is truly lighting you up inside, and how connected you feel to your purpose and source and spirit within you, and how connected to you do you feel to who you truly are, and going with that specific flow.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. It's hard to find things that completely tick the box all the time. But when you're in a higher state of, when you're in a higher frequency, when you're in your gratitude, when you're in your heart, when you're in all of these things that you all have talked about, it's much easier to attract that to you, right? You're attracting instead of going out and hunting and pecking. And so, Supriya, let's just start with you on this next question, so you can start first. But I know that there's people out there that are thinking, well, if I'm in flow and in alignment and thinking about my heart and meditating and in my practice, how am I supposed to be productive? Or if I don't even know what my purpose is, and I'm just doing my business and learning all this stuff, like we have a lot of new people listening, how am I supposed to be productive if I don't feel like it? So maybe I'd love to hear all of you talk about this, because I think it's really important. I think productivity has shifted energetically. So I'd love to hear from you about that.
Yeah, like, and this is what I like to call the masculine side. It's also about taking inspired action. And I think that's where the balance comes in. And with the feminine energies, we're all about being heart-centered and doing things from flow and state. But then you also have to add the masculine part of it, which, it's taking action and being action-oriented. And it's just being hustle, which, that's like, a more of a dead word, so to say, like at this point. But if you want to attract, you also have to be not only in the state to attract, but you actually have to take action in order to attract to, and that's inspired action in order to attract. Like if you want to make, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 in the next month or so, and you're doing all the things, and you're doing all the, you know, money manifestation rituals, all that stuff within you, but you're not reaching out to people, you're not going on social media, you're not showing up, and you're not taking like all that action, there's not a lot that's actually going to come up for you. So I think that's where the energies, I feel like, combine together. And I feel like you also have to figure out what works for you. And that's also business energetics too, being in a state of flow that works for you.
And it's a process, right? I mean, it's not going to happen just like, bam, you know it. It's a process of becoming that which you are here to be, and opening up to your intuition, letting the guidance flow through, taking that inspired action and seeing what happens, and readjusting until you find a smooth flow that works for you, until it doesn't work anymore. And then you readjust. That's kind of what I've found is true for me. So yeah, thank you for that. I really like what you said, and we'll go from there. So who would like to talk next? Who'd like to share about? Yes, Crystal.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting question. You know, when we finally learn to get into flow, sometimes we don't feel like working. It's like, oh, I don't feel like it right now. And then it's the question then that I ask myself when I get into that space is, why don't I feel like it? Do I actually need more rest because I haven't had it? Am I sabotaging myself because I'm afraid of what will happen if I actually am successful? So asking some deeper questions beyond, why don't I want to take inspired action? Or then also, is the thing that I want to do maybe is not in alignment, or that I know I should be doing, is it out of alignment? And so then how can I get myself back to my purpose and my vision and my mission, so that the inspired action can be ignited from within? Because we all know that we can shift our state, but in order not to push into, okay, I've got to do my to-do list, but to listen to, well, does my body just need a day off today? Or am I making excuses for myself? That becomes the dance, and that becomes the awareness that we need to cultivate in order to really be in that flow state where we are, you know, integrating the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us, so that we can rest and take action.
Oh, beautifully put. Thank you for saying that. I love that. That brought up another question. Hopefully we'll have time for it. So thank you. Thank you. Grace, did you want to talk about this a little bit, about productivity and maybe some experiences you've had?
Yeah, sure. I know for me, just this happened recently. I came up because when I was doing my mother crafting, I belonged to an agency, and they did all the upfront work, all the marketing, the networking, and all of that sort of stuff. And for me, that all feels like a whole lot of hoops that I've got to jump through to, you know, get seen and visible and do all those bits and pieces. And it's been something that I've you know, butted up against for a while. And so I thought, look, I know I have to do this. I know it is a to-do. I do have to do a certain amount of this, whether I like it or not. So how can I make peace with it? So I really just, you know, went into allowed it. I accepted that it is what it is, and I made peace with it. And I decided that, you know, how can I make this become my ally rather than something that is something I'm resisting constantly. So for me, it was really important to shift my perception around what I was doing, that to-do list stuff, and create it, like reframe it into something that actually feels good to me. Because the whole idea is that we need to be feeling good. We need to have that feel good to be moving forward and to stay in alignment. So that was really important to me. And I know that the other day, because I was doing a whole lot of, like, a massive chunk of content creation stuff. And so I was like, how can I do this? How can I actually, you know, make this something that I enjoy. And so I really realized that it was I called it, a retreat. I'm going on retreat to just immerse in inspirational content, and then started really appreciating that and how it was going to benefit me, and how it benefits the people that I'll be working with, and that sort of thing. Started doing all of, like Crystal, doing the appreciation all around that and lifting that up, and it just made me feel so much better, and I actually really enjoyed the process. So yeah, just being able to come to terms with it, accept it, and do whatever do whatever you need to do to dissolve that resistance, I think.
I love reframing, turning it into fun, finding out what's fun for you so that you can market in a way that's fun for you, that feels good to you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Jacqueline, did you want to talk about this?
Yeah. So that is such a great point, Grace, of like reframing, but also in service. When we're in these things where we're doing, or we stop doing because we're procrastinating or we're not really sure where to go, even with the things that we don't really enjoy. I'm a huge firm believer of delegating as well, because I don't believe that we have to do everything. So aligning yourself with what do you actually enjoy doing in your business. See what you can get off of your plate. Find somebody who that's their expertise. And then the things that maybe you still can't get off of your plate, take a look at how you can reframe it, but in service. When you are in service, everything else really aligns. So like, I'm going to go back to the heart, because when you're leading your entire business with your heart and you truly care and you're passionate about what you're doing, everything, even the content creating or even the taxes, those types of things, you shift and you look at how is this benefiting? Because if you don't do your taxes, then you don't have a business and then you can't serve. So like looking at where does this all come from? And again, delegate where you can. Really just get it off your plate and hire people who are that's their expertise and that's their alignment piece. That's what they love doing. So you can do what you absolutely love doing and your favorite things. Content creation might be one of your favorite things. Yeah, somebody else can do it, but if you enjoy doing it, let yourself do that. Maybe, only a certain amount of time if the money brings in, other places. So just
perfect. Yeah. And being in service, like I took that to a different level recently. It's like, you hear be in service, but when you are really just serving to serve, and you really aren't focused on the other stuff, it's a different energy. Speaking of business energetics. Okay, Allison, you can either answer that question, or the next thing I would love to hear, if we've got a little bit of time, maybe briefly. We are all accelerating so fast. We are all shifting and expanding and evolving so fast. My question is, how do we keep up with our own evolution as business owners, as we're changing, as our service might be expanding in what we do? How to navigate? I would love to know how to navigate that, because I know some people are dealing with that. I'm dealing with that. I've been dealing with that for a long time, and so it's like it's so fast. How do you keep up with it?
That is a really good question that ties in, I think, from the last stuff we've just spoken of, because without that balance, it's navigating it to feel good, I think. I see I see energy a lot expressed through my third eye as images. So as you have all been talking, I've seen flowing threads of river, like in a river, and that to me is like the energy flowing. So when you talk about that feminine flow, we have that within us, and when we go in and look at that flow, is it flowing too fast? And I think this is where we're tying in now. Do I need to just slow down a bit more? Do I need to move? And it's really asking some really simple questions like, do I have the energy to sustain this? Is this meant for me? And then tuning into this. It's not a 3-second job where you're going to get all the answers instantaneously, right? Some answers you will get in the crack of a minute, but others take some time to drop in. So it's slowing down enough to recognize that. And then going, is this the correct time? Because often Spirit is so excited. And so when we're connected in that way, they're like, it's almost like a megaphone of, here's all the information, we're going to give it to you now. And it drops in and you're like, oh, shite, that was a lot of stuff. What do I do with it? And then so asking that question, is this the correct time, will sort of define and realign and rethread certain aspects of that information. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that.
Like I said, I read this energy and I explain it and I can see the nods and I'm like, it just sound like I just talk crazy.
No, I totally got what you're saying. And I think those questions are really great questions to ask, because are you going too slow? Are you going too fast? Are you are you doing what you love? I mean, all the things that we've been talking about. So, yeah.
One thing I've noticed too, working with clients, is when we go in and explore that river of their own self-worth and wealth and all of the above, they generally find it very disconcerting when they see it running super fast. Because they think they're running out of time. They think there's something, they're missing something. So they always feel like they're spinning their wheels. And it's generally a physical embodiment that's showing up as overwhelm, overthinking it, doubt, or don't know. And it's part of the experience that we're meant to have. But it's just understanding from an energetic standpoint with those questions, like stop, pause, just wait and see what comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, perfect. It's so important to stop and tune in. I mean, that's how I operate. That's how I have to operate. If I don't tune in, and I think everybody here is in agreement, we don't tune in, then we're not getting that inspiration. Then we're not getting the guidance. We're not getting the correct information to be balanced, to operate in a sustainable, balanced fashion. So thank you for that. Would anybody else like to chime in on that? And then I'll have you guys talk about your if you have any free gifts you want to offer. So, but anybody else want to talk about the expansion? No? Okay. Well then, let's go with Crystal, and why don't you discuss what you have for the, do you have something for the audience? A free gift?
Do I have a free gift? I could have a free gift. I do have, yes, I do. Like there is, when you come onto my website, on the main website, there is a webinar. It's called, it speaks into how we can amplify our vision and align to our soul mission. It's nothing to do with publishing. It's more, still in leftover from the coaching that I've been doing, and I kind of do, but not advertise. So it's a beautiful masterclass that just takes you also on a guided journey to really connect in with your embodied soul, so that you can realize your vision. And that's simply on crystalhill.org.
Perfect. I love that. Sounds beautiful. Cool. Okay. Does anybody else have a free gift offer that they'd like to describe? Yes, Jacqueline.
So I have, and this is a little different, but I have a How Clean Is Your Business quiz. So that's what I teach on, is clean, not just meaning product So whether you have an energy healing, it doesn't matter what type of business, but it's looking at your business as a holistic business and the different pieces that really make a difference, whether it is product, whether it's you're using it in your business or at home, because that affects your neurotoxins and your neurosystem. So that one I would love to share with everyone. And I'll grab the link and drop it here.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like me to do that.
Perfect. Yep. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jacqueline. Supriya.
Well, I have a couple of free gifts. One is I have a course called How to Switch the Energy of Your Business, all about the business chakras and everything, and how you can use those to switch the energy in your business. And of course, my other one is, of course, a discovery call. If you ever want to learn more about how that all works for you, I'll be more than happy to talk.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Allison, did you have something, or Grace?
Yeah, I have a multidimensional webinar for women in business using their human design and how to start incorporating your human design into your business itself. So it's a 35-minute webinar. So I'll drop the link in that for everyone too.
Awesome. Sounds great. And Grace, do you have a gift or discovery call or something that you can offer?
Yeah, I don't have anything that's specifically business related as such, but I do have a free possibilities dream it session to just explore the what life would be like if your vibration didn't have all the barriers and blocks in it, and working out a way to move forward with that to break through those barriers.
Perfect.
On my
I love it.
Yeah,
that's great. Thanks. Well, we've got about 5 more minutes. So I'd love to hear from you about just one tip that you could give the audience that might help them shift something that we have. I mean, we've covered so much, but if there's anything else that you could offer, just to help either connect to their business in a different way, or anything around that would help people kind of understand where they are in relation to the energy of their business, even though we're talking about the energy of the being, but how it's connected to the energy of the business. I would like to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll go. I think the thing that's coming up for me right now is that everything is a choice. And we really have a choice to whether we're allowing whatever happens in life to, move us down the stream, as Alison, used that river, and, we're just kind of being carried down there, or whether we're saying, hang on, I'm going to swim somewhere now. I'm going to actually use my willpower and use my energy and make a choice here, make a shift, or I'm going to crawl onto a plank and I'm going to hold on, and then so I don't and just whatever it is, we always have a choice, whatever situation we're in, and we have the ability and the power to shift our vibration and our energy in any given moment, even if at times it just feels really impossible. And so it's depending on how deep you're in the rabbit hole or how deep you're in this slump. And the answers are, it's about kindness to ourselves, forgiveness to ourselves for being somewhere where perhaps we think we shouldn't be anymore. Oh, why am I back here again? And just understanding that the energetics of the universe are pretty intense at the moment. And so just to coming with compassion, forgiveness, and creating that spaciousness in the day where we can check in and where we can slow down in order to speed up again.
Creating space is so important. It is so important. I mean, that's how things lighten up. That's how you're allowed. That's how you can create more, is by creating the space to add more light into your field to create that which you want. So I love that you said that. Thank you for that.
Can I just chime in for one last thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that the
Please.
heart of expansion?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Isn't that ascension at its core? Is holding more light in the body, going back to that light. And so connecting into that source light that's within us will help us expand that energy and do such a job.
Yeah, exactly. Perfectly said. Well, I think that's a wrap. No, I'm kidding. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
I actually
Yes,
wanted
Jacqueline.
to chime in too,
Yeah.
because while we're creating that space and everything, it's really listening to what your heart's desire is, even if it's not where you're at, allowing yourself to dream. You may not be in the space where you want to be right now. It doesn't matter. Dream and allow yourself to expand that dream little by little. Because I know a lot of clients that I work with, it's very three-dimensional, like we're in the 3D, this is what I can see, what I want, and what others think they should have. So they think that that's where they want to go. But if you drop into your heart and you ask yourself, like, what do you actually really want? And allow yourself to dream with that, and then take those aligned actions, small steps every day to shift into that, is such a powerful thing to do.
And I think I'm glad you brought that up, because so many people do not give themselves permission to dream, to even go beyond what their reality that they see with their eyes gives them. And so I remember the first time I did that, and I just like went big, and I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. But I hadn't, this a long time ago, but I hadn't given myself permission to do that. And so I think that's really important, to give yourself permission to just go anywhere. Yeah. Be fed grapes. It doesn't matter, whatever you be fanned and fed grapes, whatever you want, for yourself, for your future, for your now, for your present. Bring that into the present moment, right? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Supriya, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I think that, taking aligned action and being like, and then taking small steps. I think Jacqueline actually said that the best, like taking small steps each day. Doing the journaling, all the writing, everything. No matter how little you think it is, it really, as long as you're consistent with it, I think consistency is key. As long as you're consistent, it really does make a huge difference. And I can say that from my own experience. Like, I thought like having journaling even a half a page a day was insane to me, but now I do 3 pages, and it's not even, I don't even blink at it. And everything that has manifested from that journaling has been incredible, but I have been incredibly consistent about it. Incredibly consistent. So that's like my little tidbit that I want to leave.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways, right? Journaling, meditating, using oracle cards. And there's so many ways that we could get more information, and to help us manifest, to help us dream, to help us have different perspectives. And I think it's just keeping on the path. It's just staying on the path and being open and following those breadcrumbs and asking for obvious signs, and being aware, right, of where you are and what your energy level is and how you're feeling connected, and are you aligned, and all of those yummy things that you guys have all talked about. So thank you so much for this really great conversation. I knew it was going to be fun. So just want to thank all of the panelists here for sharing their wisdom and just, speaking their authentic truth. It's just so much wisdom. And I encourage all of you watching the replay to just take some of these insights and actually practice them so that you can create a shift in your business, and in your life. Even if you don't have a business, creating the shift so that you can dream bigger, so that you can be on the path to open yourself up to more opportunities and follow your heart and create the reality that you want. So thank you again. And below this video on the replay somewhere, we're going to put a link in where you can check out the events that are upcoming, and also sign up to be a member or join us. There's so much going on, and like-minded people. If you've enjoyed this and resonated with it, you're going to just really love all the people in the community. So check that out. And thank you, everyone, so much for being here. And it's a wrap.